I I would have had Trip drinking, cleaning the phaser, and being like, "How you doing, Cap?" And like, Trip, what are you up to? Oh, I'm just cleaning Elizabeth here. Elizabeth, that's what I call my phase pistol, Captain.
Yeah, bye, Duras.
Yours is
See ya in Stuvacore, bitch. Wow.
And this is where we review and give our thoughts. This was maybe the first lesson in Star Trek should not be bleeding edge of the headlines.
They were trying to do the Law and Order thing a little bit there, right? Where they try to make that episode as fast as they can.
Let's see how our poll is going while we consider our votes, and then after I look at how you guys voted, we'll give our opinions on this, and then you guys, obviously can continue to vote. We can render judgment now on season 2 of Enterprise. What grade did people give season 2 of Enterprise? We got 23 votes here. Highly scientific. A, 22%. B, 48%. C, 17%. D, F, 13%. It's not like it's a bad story. It's not very Star Trek-y. All right, so we just watched the episode The Expanse of Star Trek Enterprise. Let's start with JT Kirk. Give me your thoughts and your grade for this episode, Mr. Kirk.
So, yeah, this is obviously not Star Trek in a lot of ways. And this is supposed to be like a reboot going into season 3 of the entire show and get everybody pumped up and excited for what's going to happen. And spoiler alert, it pretty much is going to fall flat on its face, like straight out of
it through the most downer event of all time, which is only recently in the rear view.
Yeah, and you're right that this did come, maybe a couple years after those events. Okay, I mean, this is a very stressful time. The last thing that I want is a fictional story with all this existential threat to it. And this is the first real adventure, I feel like, that is going to justify the filth doing a story like this. I do not like most of what has gone on with the characters in this episode. I think the only thing that reminds me of Star Trek are the member berries of the photon torpedoes. I thought that the weird horror movie that they played Captain Archer was inappropriate to play in this setting, because I don't believe that that's Star Trek either, right? That's totally some other show, some other place, not here. So what did we do? Did we go explore new planets? Did we look internally to try to better ourselves? Did we improve upon our morals at all? Did we meet a new species? Did we have diplomacy or a negotiation episode? Did we discover new technology? Did we go where no one has gone before in some other way? The answer to all of that is no. So it's just not Star Trek. I don't think that this show is structured well to do this type of story. And they're going to head into some really choppy waters where they lose a lot of the audience that they've had up to this point. And I think that this is the fault of CBS or UPN, whatever they're calling Paramount, that whole, whatever you want to call it, dragon that keeps morphing. Yeah, every 5 minutes, they change their name, right? I think this is Les Moonves in all of this crap that's coming from there, where these people have, it's almost like they never met Gene and they never watched the show, and they're using it for a purpose that they want and not to make a great show, right? It's like what they've done to Doctor Who in the last since
it's not that bad. It's not as bad.
It's still watchable.
No,
maybe.
Although,
okay, well, but I'll just say I hated this.
for Gene Roddenberry, as far as his vision versus this Star Trek, this is Vengeance Trek is not. This is a very unique Trek.
Out of 100, what do you give that? I know it's an F, but what's your grade number score?
A 57.69.
That's not that bad. I guess there's some
for.
It was redemptive. Because it was as good at giving as it was receiving.
Yes.
Take it easy, JT.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Derek,
Thank
you can have a
Thank you, panel. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Admiral. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy birthday to your son. We have deposited JT on the planet below, which brings us to Resolute Germ. Resolute Germ, are you ready to go?
Yeah. I'm not as critical as JT was. Everything seemed okay, but not really interesting. Since I know where it's going, it's going to take it down a little bit. But there was nothing really technically wrong with this episode. So I gave it a C.
Oh, cool.
Out of 100, probably 71.
71. Cool. Any call outs? Is there anything that you particularly did like or did not like about it? And any standouts or comments?
I like that they finally got the photons. Those ordinary torpedoes were getting annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the goofy
missiles
was only cute for a while.
Yeah.
The ordinary missiles worked in a goofy kind of way.
Cool.
All right, so Germ gives it a C. Shawn, it's your turn.
I'm gonna go way opposite of what JT did. I give this episode a B plus. I give this an 87. Understanding that we're not getting science fiction. I'm understanding that. Even that's considered. And the things that bother you. It was suspenseful. I think the writing on this was good. It was a little. It was adventurous. It was I don't always need my Star Trek to be Star Trek or science fiction. And granted, this series takes its liberties without being Star Trek most of the time. But this is one of those instances where the Xindi arc for me does that well. They're not doing science fiction, but what they did decide to do is done well. I like what's coming. I don't like the little side things like simultitude or the things that don't even have anything to do with the arc. I wish they wouldn't have done those. So you just throw them at the end of the season. But I really enjoy the Xindi story. It's interesting, and we do get a little bit of Archer kind of, or the Earth and humans we're going to see that they realize that they have a bigger space to play in the galaxy, and it's the beginnings of what's going to be the Federation. It's just good. I just enjoy the Xindi arc. I'm just one of those people that do, and I get the people that hate it. I have no problem with someone hating it.
I just like the Xindi arc too. I like episode here and episode there. With the level of immersion and preparation that I try to do for this, I can't spend like 10 hours every week.
Right. No, yeah, that's true. We do get to, especially when we get to meet Degra, the guy that played him, he's really good, and him and Archer have great chemistry. I like what happens with him, and he comes around and learns. I like that he regrets what he's done, and we see a lot of good stuff. And
they get a little more sci-fi in season 4, and you know, Shawn, I will see you, and I will raise you that. Part of the reason why maybe the show not being sci-fi is working out is because it has been so non-sci-fi for so long that's their home turf now. RTNZ's got your back, though.
Oh, well, cool. And I will say this, and just to kind of contradict something JT said, and I'm sad that he had to go. I don't mean to speak without him being able to refutate me. But when he said that there's no sci-fi in this, if we think back to the last couple seasons of DS9, there was very little science fiction in that too. The whole Dominion War was a much longer version of the Xindi arc that we're getting here. It's an extremely long version of. No, I meant JT because JT left. Because JT talking about we don't get much science fiction in this Trek.
No, we don't.
We didn't with DS9 either. They sprinkled some in there, but when it got to the Dominion War, season 6 and 7, we had 2 seasons of Xindi kind of this idea in DS9. So
these writers are fairly competent, but they're not inspired and visionary the way the original creator was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not Star Trek. It's still got a lot of the original Star Trek in it, but how's this one sound? Jackson Roykirk, Tanru. It's still Star Trek, but it's like Nomad track now.
Yeah, yeah.
I think people will be surprised the grade I give it too. So here's the deal. With this episode, I didn't think it was all that terrible. I did cite the problems that we had. The problems being that we introduced this super powerful, mysterious alien group that attacks, that the analogy is too heavy-handed, it's too close to the edge. I do not think this is Star Trek. But it was an all right action and adventure space sci-fi story. I give it an even B. I give it an even B.
An 80 or 8
yeah,
or
yeah, it was pretty. The things that I didn't like were only about 20%. I felt we could have written out the Klingons, and just having the shadowy smoking man from the future I'm so sick of him. Can we just have somebody else explain to people why the future is going to change, or give them the information? It's just Silic could have just shown up and been like, some people told me some stuff you need to know. Or how about Shran found out? We know.
Yeah, they could have done it a bunch of. Yeah, they could have not had the temporal cold crap.
I would prefer they get it from Shran. We went out of order, guys. We're going to circle back for Horizon on Pride Day.
See, so now he's going in 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
And he's going to come up around behind.
Well, that's the Mayweather way.